Simon Mem Beis na haGuela. Ezra Hashem. V'aleinu l'shabeach l'hoides l'shmois barach. We have to thank Hashem al chastoi hagadol, his kindness, sherichem al pleitosenu, that He had mercy on our remaining Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. V'hitzilas achenu b'shebe'eretz Yisrael mishvi u'mecherev rachmana litzlan. He saved the Jews in Eretz Yisrael from this danger in 67 that the Zionists brought upon them. Aval kama yesh lanu livkois. However, we must cry. We must be sad. Garmu, that unfortunately our sins caused Sheba Hatzala be'oifen kazeh, that the Hatzala came through in this way. Sha'asamach mem matzaboy makim latzeez mamay, that the Samach mem found a way to further his interests. L'samos to'einayim, to blind Yidden's eyes. Ulahatois esabrias benisim beduyim, and to confuse people to think that they had miracles which were made up. It's actually thousands and tens of thousands of Jews who are nitfasim al yidei zeh, that they're caught up in this. He's talking about from Jews, I guess, right? Who are caught up in this l'fire es harashaim, to praise the wicked, to join them because of the war and the victory. We find the similar thing in the Gemara, that the Chazal were upset when the Hatzalah came in a certain way. Even though they were happy that the Hatzalah came, they were upset about the way it came. Where do we find this? Me'ilu daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. Pa'amachas gazder malchus gzeira shelo yishmru es haShabbos v'shelo yamulu es b'neiim. That the Roman Empire made a decree not to keep Shabbos, not to do bris milah. So Amru mi yelech v'yivatel gzeiros. The Chazal said, who's going to go to Rome to take away the gzeira? Yelech Reb Shimon ben Yochai, shehu malumad b'nisim. Reb Shimon ben Yochai has nisim in his life. He survived in a cave and everything with a tree. So he's malumad b'nisim. Let him go. For Reb Yosi halach imo. Reb Yosi accompanied Reb Shimon. Kishahayu mahalchim b'derech yatsa likrasei ben Tamalion. And ben Tamalion, this Rashi says, Shade Haya, came out to greet them. So Amar Lahem Ritzoinchem Avo Imachem. So the shade said to them, can I come with you? Do you want me to come with you? So Bachar, in other words, to help you save the Yidden and the Gzeira. So Bachar Reb Shimon cried, Yomar Ma Shivcha Shel Beis Abba. If the shivcha, the maidservant of Avraham Avinu, Hagar, Nizdame La Malach Gimel Pa'amim, she had a Malach come to her 3 times. Va'ani loy pa'am achas, I can't even have a Malach come once to me. It has to be a shade. But then he said, Yavoy hanes mikol makom, let the nes come in however way Hashem wants to send it. So Kadim hu al bibrati to Kezer. This shade went ahead and went into the daughter of the king. Pirish Rashi has shade nichnas bebitoy shel Kezer. V'nishtaga, she became crazy. Shade made her insane. She cried out and said, bring me Reb Shimon bar Yochai to take care of this shade that's in me. When Reb Shimon reached Rome, Shimon bar Yochai, Omer ben Tamalion say, he said to the shade, he went to the daughter and he said, Ben Tamalion, come out. And he called him and he went out. So Amr Lohai, the king said, I'm so grateful that you cured her. So She'ilu kol ma de'is l'chu l'mishal. Ask whatever you want. He brought them into the treasure house, and Ashkechu hahu ha'ikra, they found the letter. Pirish Rashi d'ksivi ba halein gzeiros, the letter that had the gzeiros in it. Shaklu of a karua, and they took it and they ripped it up. Ad kan. So that's the Gemara. So v'chayra lama loy samach Reb Shimon bar Yochai al hanes. Why wasn't he happy about the nes? Shenasta lahatzalas kol Yisrael. It saved everybody. Aval lafi shenasta hanes be'emtzalos hashade, because the nes happened through this demon. Afshe be'emes ikar adavar nasta al yidei Reb Shimon bar Yochai v'lo al yidei hashade. Even though he was the one controlling it, because hashade also rak b'shlichus Reb Shimon bar Yochai. He just did what Reb Shimon told him to do. Masha asa. U'motzinu kama pa'amim mishtamshu tanoim im shadim. We find many times that the Tanaim used Shadim to do what they wanted to do. The Ilu, where we find that, by the way, this Tanaim using Shadim, find in the Gemara in Eruvin Mem Gimel, there's a story about that Yosef Shida it says that there was a certain halacha that was said in the Beis Medrash, in Surah, and then later in the day, they found out about it in Ardah, because Yosef Shida went and he told over the halachas that were said in one place to another place. And also there's a Gemara, there's a Yerushalmi about a story with the emperor of Rome made Xera or something, and they weren't keeping it, and then they were called before him right after Shabbos, and they had no way of getting there, and the emperor knew they would have no way of getting there, so it was like an excuse to kill them. So they had a shade that helped them get there quicker. Or maybe the shade came to them on Shabbos and told it. I can't remember what it said, but do you Yerushalmi.
A good shade?
A good shade, yeah. So there are good shadim. He says what he says. Elu hashadim ha'ikrovim el hakdusha kiyadua. These shadim that helped the Tanoim were good shadim. They were close to the kedusha. But Lamaisa, they weren't on the madrega of a malach. So Amnam Roa Reb Shimon ben Yochai beruach kadshay sha'avoin ador goyrim, that it was because of the sins of his generation that he wasn't zoicha. She'ein zchusam kedai she'yavoin aneis alidei malach. The nace couldn't come through an angel. When we sit through the kedusha levad, it couldn't come only from the holy side. Be'ofen shelayitu abrius sheyesh bahem yesh gam lahem haYecholos la'asos nisim, because it shouldn't. If it comes from a shade, people are going to think the shadim have the ability to do nisim, and they might follow them. L'chein bacha Reb Shimon al nes kozeh. That's why he was crying that the nes happened this way. But unfortunately, he had to, against his will, he had to agree to have the nes come this way. Sefer HaKodesh Zera Kodesh, Sefer from the Naphtali Rupshitz, right? Zera Kodesh. The cost of Lefarish Apostic Megillus Esther. Al Tadami B'nafsheich. It says that Mordechai said to Esther, Pashup Shat, don't think in your mind to save yourself by being in the house of the king, and all the Yidden will get killed. He says, if you're quiet at this time, you don't do anything, then the Yidden will get saved in a different way, and you're going to get killed. That's what Mordechai said to Esther. So he says like this, no, the Zohar HaKadosh says that Shehichnisa Esther Shidis Bidmusa, that Esther didn't actually live with Achashverosh. Achashverosh called her in, she brought a shade in to go that looked like her, and that shade went in. So therefore, she was never living with Achashverosh until now. That's why Mordechai said to her, like, now you need to go into the king to beg him to be mevatel v'gzeira on the Yidden, right? So don't think now you're going to send a shade in to do the work for you. If the king wants, znus, the shade will do the znus. Don't think that. Akshav loy tasi dimyoin. That's what he said. Loy tadam al tadami b'nafshech. Don't make something similar to yourself. Loy tasi dimyon. Don't make a copy of yourself or a fake body of yourself. Mishloach hashida b'musech, to send a shade in your place. Because if you just sit still, and the shade goes in instead of you, the nace happens through the shade, then the Yidden will have a Yeshua from some other place. What does that mean, from some other place? Means they will have a Yeshua, but where will it come from? Mimakam acher. The koiches sitra achra, then the koiches of the sitra achra will be mixed into this Yeshua. Because this was a nes that was happening to all the Yidden, because of the Xera of Haman, they fasted and davened, and they were makabel the Torah. He said, make the nes happen in a way that no one could make a mistake. So therefore, don't make it look like it's the sitra achra, but rather do it yourself. Go in yourself. So, same thing over here. We don't want a shade to do the nes, and we don't want the zionists to do the nes. We want it to happen in a way that won't lead people to think it's the koiches tumah.